Welcome to Trash Plays 20 Strong, the Tainted Grail sort of version of the game, I guess. This is going to be my very first time playing a 20 Strong game, and I'm excited to see what all the buzz is all about. And the reason I've chosen not 20 Strong, the Tainted Grail version of the game is because I have actually played Tainted Grail, both versions, Tainted Grail and Kings of Ruin, because I sort of was intrigued by the card combat. And it turns out that I should not have been intrigued by the card combat. It's not that interesting. However, I like the idea of it. So hopefully the 20 strong version of it is, worth playing. So I am playing as Niamh. She has the ability Scouting when you would trigger a plus enemy icon effect, I guess. You may banish your strongest ready die to avoid activating one enemy with 2 health, 3 strategy, and 2 recovery. And I guess I'm going to be playing against Foe Dweller, mainly because all of the enemies look very, very scary in this game. I don't actually see how you're supposed to win, so I guess we'll find out. So I guess setup, it's going to be draw your cards equal to your strategy, so that's going to be 3 cards. For our opening hand, that's going to be Hex, Gather Dots, and Entangling Trap. And I think Gather Dots seems like it's like the strongest card in the deck, so that's good to get early, I guess. We're going to be starting with the yellow color wheel, so that means we can only be playing yellow dice unless we use something like Hex, which allows us to apply blue dice to this enemy, and I think I'm going to be using that Hex. Oh wow, I got Hex and Entangling Trap, which allows me to apply green dice as well. But I think what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using my yellow and my blues, so I can start recovering my blues right away. But then I guess this is actually not that great to start with. Unless I guess I just want to go all out. Okay, let's see what I would like to do. So, I kind of want to start upgrading my deck because that's just how you should be playing, I think. And this gives me +1 enemy, and I get -1 health every time a purple dice is applied to an enemy, but I can't even use purple at the moment. And this has, if this enemy is defeated, gain the Vicious Hex combat card, and this is, you may apply purple to this enemy, so I kind of want this card. I'm thinking I'm going to grab this. Oh, by the way, I suppose I should mention how this game works. You have 20 dice, and 3 of them are your stats, and then 17, I guess, are going to just be like combat dice, 4 colors of each except for 1 red, and it gets stronger as you go. So yellow only has, 1 hit and 1 crit, and then green is going to be 2 hits and 1 crit, blue is going to be 3 hits and 1 crit, purple is going to be 4 hits and 1 crit, and then red is going to be 5 hits and 1 crit. And the idea is that you want to, like when you face an enemy, right? Let's say we're facing Foe Dweller. You want to roll as many dice as you can, I guess, and then apply those hits to that enemy, and then like use cards that link up with the things on the right side of those cards to like chain these effects, and try to kill them doing that, I guess. But like Foe Dweller has 7 HP, but you can only apply like 1 color dice naturally, so I guess you need these kind of cards to make it so you can apply more dice. Or use cards that deal damage or something, I guess. But I guess we'll figure it out. So, yeah. If I get the warped one, I'm also going to have to deal myself +1 enemy. I kind of think that I want to grab the weird hog. Because the warped one has 5 HP, and I don't really want to spend every single thing I can use with that 5 HP. And this will allow me to draw 2 cards and strike again. I also think I want to just save this for the next one, because this only has 2 HP. When an effect or ability would require you to banish any number of dice, do not banish those dice. So I think I'm actually going to grab the warped one, and then for the +1 enemy, I'm going to grab the Renegade Troops, because I can defeat the Renegade Troops pretty easily. And I have enough stuff in my hand that allows me to just be like, no, I'm just going to play any dice I want to grab the warped one. So yeah, I think that's the play, actually. So let's grab the warped one. When I grab the warped one, I have to apply 1 more enemy. Crit cannot be applied to this enemy, and if I defeat this, I get to get the Meat Cleaver combat card. What is the Meat Cleaver combat card? Crits applied to this enemy deal +1 damage. Okay, that's pretty nice. Could I actually pretty quickly defeat that? I think so. I think my hand's strong enough to actually grab that as well. You know what? Let's grab that. I might be getting a little bit greedy here, but I think that I might as well go for it. Like, sure, why not? So I'm going to grab the Being Chirach as well, 3 HP, and that's gonna be it for grabbing stuff as far as like engaging enemies. Now I have to defeat them this turn basically, otherwise I'm just gonna take the damage from, I'm gonna take 1 damage from this and 2 damage from this if I don't defeat them, and then they'll just like go away. I don't get the benefits. So that's kind of like the risk reward sort of thing, is that like you can grab whatever you want, but you kind of have to defeat them, otherwise you're gonna die. My character Oni also has 2 HP as well, so I kind of have to defeat both. Well, I can not defeat the warped one, but I kind of want to. So yeah, if you take damage, you're gonna obviously die, and then that's game over. 2 HP is kind of brutal, but like all of the other heroes as well don't have that much HP. Like if you look at the other heroes available, there are 1 HP, 2 HP, 3 HP, 1 HP, 3 HP, 1 HP, and then on the back, you have 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 3. So it's like, this game looks like it's gonna be pretty brutal, and I don't know if you're supposed to feel like everything sucks, or if you're supposed to be like, oh no, this is actually a very strategic game, and if you just play your cards right, you know, you can win. But yeah, let's figure out how we're going to be doing this. I'm going to start by using my Gather Dot on the... this is not a great hand for Gather Dots actually, because they only have 1 connector each, and I kind of want to use 2 of these connectors so I can both draw 2 cards and strike again. Because when you line up these cards, whatever it's lined up with is going to give you that effect. So even if I line it up with the Bean Chirach, because only the draw 2 cards is connected, I only get to draw 2 cards, and I want to strike again as well. Can I use any of these? Okay, so I cannot play Hex, and I cannot... Oh, I can play Entangling Trap, and that would give me Gather Dots. Okay. I guess I'm going to be using my Entangling Dots, or Entangling Trap. So every phase, you get to do your strategy phase a number of times equal to your strategy number, so that's 3. So I get 3 turns, basically, to do stuff until until I lose this encounter, basically. So I guess I'm going to be starting with using my Entangling Trap. For my first strategy phase, you can strike and then roll dice. Is it strike and then roll dice? Yeah, your strategy phase is strike, commit dice, roll dice, apply the dice. So I get to do that 3 times. I get to strike. So strike is either draw a card or play a card. So I'm going to start by playing a card from my hand. That's going to be the Entangling Trap on the Bean Chirach. Now I get to commit and apply dice. So I guess I'm going to be committing... I want to do 8 damage total, which is quite a lot. So I guess I'm going to be committing all 8 of these dice. So let's roll all 8 of these, I guess. And now I get to apply dice. So I get to apply greens to this enemy, but I cannot apply crits to this enemy. So that's kind of inconvenient, actually, because I rolled a crit on this green, but I guess I'll apply both of these to this enemy, so now they have taken 2 damage. So that's my first strategy phase, and now it's time for my second strategy phase. So for my second strategy phase, I'm going to play my Gather Dots. This will allow me to, because this is connected to both of these nodes, I get to draw 2 cards, and I get to strike again. So my 2 cards are going to be Ignore Pain, so this will allow me to ignore one of my enemy's damage. So if I were to play this onto the warped one, I could just ignore their damage and pretend that I didn't lose to them, I guess. But once again, I really want to defeat them. So Ignore Pain and Charge. You may apply 1 committed dice to this card if it deals damage to this enemy, and draw 1 card, strike again. Ooh. Oh, that's convenient. That's super convenient. So, because I drew 2 cards, and now I get to strike again, this is not a part of my strategy phase. So now I can just apply this charge to this Gather Dot if I want, and that would defeat this enemy, because this allows me to apply 1 committed dice to this card and it deals damage to this enemy. So I could just apply 1 of these greens to this and finish dealing with this Bean Chirach. Plus, it will allow me to draw a card and strike again. I kind of want to do that. So if I do that, how does this work? Let me see if I got the timing correct. So, an after effect in the active area, including those on the defeated enemies, are resolved 1 at a time in the order of your choice. So this is after I have defeated the enemies. This does not trigger immediately. If it was a lightning symbol, this would trigger right now, and I could gain the Meat Cleaver combat card. But since I don't, this is not the end of the combat, I don't get to have this card right now. So I will do this though. This will allow me to apply this green mist to this enemy, and it will still deal damage to this enemy? No, I think I actually have to choose a dice that actually deals damage. So this says crit cannot be applied to this enemy, but this charge wouldn't be applying it to the enemy, it would apply it to this card. So I think this would work. If I take this crit, I think I can put it on here and still deal that deal that damage to this being charged and it would be defeated. And when you defeat an enemy, you turn them sideways to indicate that they have been defeated. And that's the end of... No, that's the end of strategy phase 2. No, that's not the end of strategy phase 2. I still get to roll my dice and I still get to apply them. So let's roll these. I think I'm going to be using this hex on the warped one. So I'm going to add my blue dice to this as well. And I think this is a very, very bad idea, applying this many dice. But I think I'm going to do it. Okay, so that's 3 hits. And I'm going to apply all 3 hits to this. What is this dice? That is a miss on the yellow. Okay, hold up. I don't think I actually used the effect of my charge. Right, I didn't actually use the effects of my charge because I get to draw 1 card. I started with 3, then I drew 2. Now I should have drawn 1 more from the charge. After applying hits to this damage, it deals damage to the enemy. Plus I get to draw 1 card and strike again. So I get to draw 1 card. I got Universal Cuts, which is the... this is a universal card because every hero has their own like unique card. Like Fuel has Aerial Slice, Duna has Fatebringer, etc., etc. But Niamh is a like bonus card, basically a bonus hero, and she does not have her own unique card, so she gets the universal card. And that universal card has 2 nodes. If this enemy is not a boss, ignore its special effect, basically, or ongoing effect, which is pretty cool. But then because I drew a card and I get to strike again, so that strike again was gonna be the ignore pain on here. So then that's why I rolled those dice. I can't apply these blue yet. So I couldn't apply any actual dice because I can only apply yellows at the moment. But then my next strategy phase, I was going to apply these blues. I was going to play Hex, which will allow me to apply the blues. And now I have to re-roll dice. And I don't know if I have to re-roll all of the ones in here or if I can... No, unfortunately, I think I do have to roll all the dice that are in my active pool. So I might not defeat this warped one, actually, because I need 5 hits, and I can only apply the blues and the yellows. So basically, I need to have all but 2 of them hit. So that's going to be unfortunate, but let's see how this goes. Ooh! Ooh! Okay. I didn't get 2 hits on the yellows, but I did get a crit on the blues. So I can apply blues to this enemy. So that's going to be a crit, which is 2 damage. 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is exactly enough to defeat both of them. Nice. Okay, so they are both defeated, and that's going to be my 3rd strategy phase. So my 3rd strategy phase is done. Now we clean up. Everything... These get exhausted. They, like, go in the exhaustion pool. Or I suppose that would be in here technically right now. And these go into the enemy graveyard. These go to my player deck graveyard. Or discard pile. And then we... What happens next? Now we suffer damage. Any undefeated enemies reduce my health by that effect. By that amount. Then the after effects happen. So I guess technically everything is still on the board at the moment. The after effects would happen while this stuff is still on the board. So these are technically not yet in my discard pile. So now I get to gain the Vicious Hex combat card and the Meat Cleaver combat card. And I technically don't have anything in my discard pile, I guess. So let's start with the Vicious Hex. I definitely want this. And the way that you upgrade cards is... When an effect tells you to upgrade a combat card, you may choose to either place it in your hand on top of your combat deck or in the combat discard. As long as there is at least 1 card in that location, when placing a new card, you must banish a different card from the same location. You may choose which card to banish from your hand or the combat discard, but you must banish the top card of your combat deck. So I don't have any cards in my discard, and I only have Universal Cut in my hand, which I kind of want to keep. So I'm going to discard, or I'm going to banish the top card of my deck for the Vicious Hex, and I'm getting rid of the Surprise Attack. You may adjust the dial in either direction. For both these nodes, I kind of would rather have kept... No, I think the Vicious Hex is better. So yeah, unfortunately I got rid of my Surprise Attack, which I think is a good card though. But I get my Vicious Hex, and it goes in the same location, I think. So I guess this would go on top of my deck. Which unfortunately means that if I grab the Meat Cleaver, I would be banishing that from the top of my deck. And I kind of don't want to get rid of that, so I guess I'll have to banish my 1,000 Cuts for my Meat Cleaver to go into my hand. Which... Okay, that doesn't feel great. But that is now done, and then we're gonna exhaust our dice step. So this is gonna move all our dice into our exhausted area. Now we get to recover equal to our recovery, so I get to get 2 dice back. And since this wheel is gonna turn green next, I think I'm gonna grab some green dice back. So let's grab 2 of these. I can grab the number equal to my recovery, which at the moment is 2. Then we gain item rewards. If I got any items, I get to place them in my inventory. And then I discard all active enemy and combat cards, so now these would go into my discard, and these would go into my discard. And if my hand exceeds my strategy, discard the excess. Next, I grab one enemy from a deck and place it in a Menhir stack, and then rotate the color, and then begin a new activation. Okay. So, the Menhir stack is basically the, like, timer to see when you fight the boss. Once there are 8 cards under the Menhir stack, which I'm going to put under Foe Dweller, we will be fighting the boss instead of picking an enemy. So which do I want to get rid of? What is the Nature's Help combat card? Nature's Help. Select the dial, or set the dial to a color of your choice. Wow, that is really strong. It gets 3 nodes, and I get to set the dial to whatever color I want. You cannot apply dice that does not match the current dial to this enemy unless you first exhaust a committed dice or ready die of the same color that is being applied. So I'm about to go into green. If I were to choose the living ice, I'd have no way to defeat them at the moment. But the Nature's Help is pretty cool. I'm thinking maybe I just grab the Renegade Troops. This does not give me any extra enemies, and it would give me an item that I could at any time discard to use when an effect or ability would require you to banish any number of dice. Do not banish those dice. So I could use this with my ability. When I would trigger a plus enemy icon, I may banish your strongest ready die to avoid activating that enemy. So I could use this to pair with my hero's ability to just not banish a die and get rid of a plus enemy symbol, and then use that to grab one of these so I can defeat them easier. So yeah, I think I'm going to grab the Renegade Troops, and then we're going to start... these are going to be like exhausted, I think. And now we're going to start fighting the Renegade Troops after changing this to green, and I think I just want to start by rolling dice and hope I defeat this, because I get 3 rolls. So I think with 3 rolls, I could probably get 2 hits on my green. So now, for my first strategy phase, I'm going to draw a card instead of striking. For my striking, I'm going to draw a card instead of playing a card. Then I'm going to roll my 2 greens. And that's a crit. So what happens here is that if I do apply this crit, I will defeat this enemy, which means I can no longer keep striking, so I can't keep drawing cards. And I kind of want to draw cards, so I'm not going to apply this crit, actually. And I'm going to move on to my second strategy phase, and I'm going to draw another card. And there's a crit. Okay, since I have 3 cards in my hand, and I have a limit of 3, at this point I'm okay with applying that crit to defeat this enemy, so now it is done. And that's going to be it. So this is going to go in my inventory, and then these are going to go in my exhausted, and now I can recover 2 dice. I'm going to recover 2 of my blues because the color is about to shift to blue. So now the color shifts to blue. I had to choose a card to put under the Menhir. Oh, I forgot to put a card under the Menhir stack. I guess I would have put the Living Ice. This seems pretty tough to defeat. And now I have to choose another card. I would gain the Inspire combat card. Inspired. Draw 3 cards and strike again. Ooh, that's good. You cannot strike again even if your combat card allows you to do so. I think I'm going to grab this. Oh, how would I defeat it if I grab it, though? I don't have any nodes that connect to it. And I only have the 2 dice. I don't have any nodes that connect to it. I only have top, middle, and middle. Okay, I still need to banish a card, or put a card under the Menhir stack. I think I'm going to get rid of this Resentful Priest, because this gives me, after the suffer damage step, gain the rewards of an undefeated enemy, but I don't want to ever not be defeating an enemy. So I'm going to get rid of this Priest. And now we have to choose an enemy. What is the Pale Lady? At any time you may discard 2 combat cards, exhaust 2 dice, or banish 1 dice to strike again. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I kind of want to risk it with this guy and hope I draw a card that has a bottom connector. I don't know what the rest of the cards in my deck are, but if I draw some of them, I'm almost certain to grab something with a bottom connector, right? I'm almost certain to. I feel like I'm being greedy, because if I do this and I don't defeat them, I'm gonna take 2 damage and lose. But I really wanna try. Okay, I'm gonna grab this guy. So, first strike, I'm gonna draw a card. I can draw past my hand limit. I just have to... That's not a bottom connector. If deal 1 damage to this enemy, if it would defeat this enemy, blah blah blah. Green or blue is my current thing, so let's roll these. And I did get a crit, so I'm gonna apply that crit to this guy. And I guess I can just roll to see if I crit to defeat him. I guess that would work. So now it's my next strike. I am going to draw again. This does have a bottom connector and it can apply yellows. Okay, so second, but then I can't play another card after this. I would just have to keep re-rolling. Because this is my second strategy phase. Shoot, I did not think this through very well. Yeah, I didn't think this through very well. Okay, let's roll, I guess. Well, that didn't go in the box. Oh, that's another crit! Okay, I got very, very lucky. That's 2 crits, so that's 2 damage each, so that's 4 damage, so I did defeat them. Okay. Okay. Wow. Alright, so this is now defeated, and now I do this thing. I get to get the Inspire combat card, and I'm going to get Inspire into... Where do I want it? I guess I would rather have the Inspire instead of the Ignore Pain, which is currently in my discard. Because Ignore Pain would allow me to reduce the damage of an enemy I don't defeat, but once again, I want to defeat my enemies. So I'm gonna get rid of the Ignore Pain to put in the Inspire instead. And now our dice are gonna be exhausted or something. I forgot the exact order, but I don't think it really matters at this moment. The important part is that I have to discard cards until I get to my hand limit, which is 3. So which ones do I want to discard? I think I want to... 8 damage I have to get rid of on this guy. I'm about to go into purple, so I might be able to defeat this guy. So what is this brutal attack? Let's plan ahead here. Brutal attack, deal 2 damage to this enemy if it would be defeated by this enemy. Wow. I think I want to try to get that brutal attack. So if I get this brutal attack... I guess I'm about to go into purple, so I don't need the Vicious Hex at the moment, so I could defeat or I could discard this Vicious Hex. Then I need to discard 1 more. I think I want to keep this yellow. I think I want to keep these 3, because these will allow me to deal damage, and this yellow allows me to play yellow, because I'm about to recover 2 dice. Even if I do that, if I get 3, or I get 4 hits plus 2 yellows, that's going to be 6. 7 from this Fatal Blow. I think I would have to use this Find Weakness to then also roll... I would have to get perfect, basically, in order to defeat this Manapede. But I think at the moment, I'm feeling pretty lucky, so let's do this. I'm going to discard this Meat Cleaver, and I'm going to go after that Manapede. But I still have to put an enemy under the Menhir stack. This is going to shift to purple. What enemy do I want to get rid of? Man, I'm never going to do this Crazed Farmhand. Let's just get rid of this Crazed Farmhand. So now, we are going to engage the Manapede. Yo, I'm kind of digging this. So yeah, I'm going to recover 2 yellows. And for my first strike, I am going to... Oh, I didn't think about how these are going to connect. I guess it would have to go War Magic, then Fatal Blow, then Find Weakness. No, that doesn't... Fatal Blow has to be in that last. Yeah, I guess this is how it's going to have to connect. So I guess for my first strike, I'm going to apply my War Magic. And then I'm going to roll all of my dice. Oh! That's every single hit. That's no crits. But that is every single hit. And I have the War Magic applied. So I can apply every single one of these except for the red. Because I'm not in the red at the moment. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 6. Oh my goodness. Okay, that is 6. For my second strike phase, I'm going to do Find Weakness. Yeah, this works. So then I just roll the red. It doesn't matter because I know that red has every single success. So now I can apply red to this. And then for my third strike phase, I'm just going to apply the final blow, deal 1 damage to this enemy. If it would be defeated by this damage, it has 7 damage. So this defeats... Okay, this defeats the Manapede. However, every single one of my dice is now exhausted. Manapede is now defeated. I get to get the... What is it? Brutal Attack card. And what do I want to get when it comes to Brutal Attack? Ooh, I just realized something. I just realized that the color is about to be red. And there's nothing that can be defeated by 2 damage coming up. Meaning I'm gonna take 1 damage. I think I have to fight the Weird Hog and take the damage. At the start of an engagement, shuffle your deck, hand, and discard together. Then draw a new hand equal to the size in your previous hand. Wait. I guess I could fight the Pale Lady. And then she might... but there's no connectors. There's no connector, so I can't play any cards. So I guess I should fight the Pale Lady, take the 1 damage, and just get a free hand, basically. I think I should do that. Okay. So what do I want to get rid of? There are not great options, actually. I kind of want to keep everything in my deck. I have these 3 upgraded cards, which I want to keep. This allows me to draw a card and strike again, and apply dice. This allows me to apply greens. This is obviously the best card, I think. Draw 2 cards and strike again with 3 connectors. So it's down to just Inspire and Hex, basically. And, oh, Inspire is also upgrade. No, not Inspire. Entangling Trap. So it's basically these 2. And I think the better option to get rid of is the blue one, because it only has 1 connector as opposed to 2. So yeah, I guess I'm getting rid of my Hex to gain the Brutal Attack. So now the cards are going to be shuffled because I need to... Oh no, these are just going to go in my discard because I don't need to draw any cards yet. I only shuffled my deck when I would need to discard cards. I'm going to recover dice. I guess I'm going to recover a red. Actually, it's about to be red and I can't use the red, so I might as well just take this time to recover my yellows because after the red is going to be yellow. So yeah, these are exhausted, and then we're going to shift the color to red. I have to banish a card. This would give me the Strategist combat card. What is Strategist? Gain 1 item from the enemy discard. No, screw that. I'm going to banish the Seeker. Then we're going to have to choose an enemy. I'm going to choose the Pale Lady, and this has a star effect at the start of engagement, which is now. Shuffle my hand, discard, and deck together, then draw a new hand equal to its previous... Oh. Equal to... Draw size in size to your previous hand, which was 0, so never mind. I don't actually get to draw any cards, but I get 3 strike phases, so I guess I would draw 3 cards anyways. So yeah, this basically has no effect. I'm just going to take 1 damage from this at the end of the engagement. 10 cards is not very easy to shuffle. Like, at all. Okay, so I guess strike phase, I'm just going to draw a card, and then roll no dice, because I can't defeat the Pale Lady. I could defeat her, actually, if I crit. Oh, sorry, this should have turned to... No, it's on red right now, so I can't defeat her, because I can't roll the yellows. Even if I got back my red, I can't roll it. Yeah, okay, so I can't defeat her. So I guess I'm just going to draw 3 cards for all 3 strikes, apply no dice, and take 1 damage, so I'm down to 1 health. And then this is going to be discarded. And now I get to recover 2 dice, so I'm going to recover 2 yellows. And now I have to get rid of a card to put under the Menhir stack. How many are in here? There's 4. What is the Animal Sense card? I'm thinking maybe I should just not keep upgrading my cards because I'm running out of cards I want to get rid of. Animal Sense. In the cleanup step, return the combat card to the left of this card to your hand. I'm okay with getting rid of this, so this is gonna go under him. And then I can get the Witch's Claws combat card. Witch's Claw. You may apply red and green to this enemy. Oh my god, I want that so bad. I want that so bad. Each time you apply dice to this enemy that does not match either the current dial color or the die already applied to this enemy, -1 to any stat. If this enemy is defeated, gain the Witch's Claw. That's kind of tough. This goes to yellow. That's kind of tough, but I technically could do it. So if I get 3 hits and a crit with my yellows, then I could defeat the Sentinel with no trouble. Technically, I also don't even need to get all of them, because I also have my final blow. So as long as I roll a hit, but yellows are kind of tough to roll those hits with. Let's just go for it. Why not? Why the heck not? Oh, this feels like a bad idea. Okay. Let's fight this guy. For whatever Sentinel. First strike phase, I'm going to apply the War Magic, because I want to set up for the final blow. And then I'm going to roll all these yellows. 0 hits. And then second strategy phase, I can't play the final blow, so I guess I'm going to draw a card. That's going to be Brutal Attack. Deal 2 damage to this enemy if it would be defeated by this damage. Okay. Okay. Oh, to be clear, by the way, you can't... Even if you were to apply or connect 2 nodes, it doesn't trigger the effect twice. It only triggers the effect once. So I can't just be like, oh, well, I can just connect this, and that would deal 4 damage to him. It only deals the 2 damage. So I still need to get 3 hits on him. So that was my... This is my second phase. A crit and a regular. I don't know what this is. What is this? That's a miss. A crit and a regular, though. That's 3 hits. So that for my third strategy phase, Brutal Attack, that's going to be 2 damage. That's 5 damage total onto this guy. Each time you apply a dice to this enemy that does not match the current dial, it does match the current dial. So that doesn't happen. So I defeat the 4,000,000 Sentinel. Okay. I've defeated him. This is invigorating. Okay, so now I get the Witch's Claw combat card. And Witch's Claw. What do I want to get rid of for this? I don't want to risk getting rid of an upgraded card, so I think I'm going to get rid of the final blow from my hand to put the Witch's Claw into my hand. And then these are going to go to my discard. I'm going to recover. I'm about to go into green, so I guess I'm going to recover my green dice. And now I need to get rid of another card under the Menhir stack. How many are in here? 1, 2, 3, 6. I'm just making sure that I've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe one of them was from a +1 enemy, though. Yeah, this very first one was from a so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's only 5 under here. I think I might have gotten rid of 1 extra enemy. I don't know what's going on with my Menhir stack, but whatever. I'll figure that out later. So I'll figure that out during editing. So what do I want to get rid of? +1 enemy. Each time you apply a combat card to this enemy, -1 to either any stat or discard a combat card. Every time I apply a card to this enemy, what would I do for the +1 enemy? I guess I would defeat the Weird Hog. Weird Hog's going to be pretty easy to defeat, but then how would I defeat the Child of Morrigan? The immediate effect is I get +1 recovery, which would be pretty nice, actually. When an Infector ability would require you to banish any number of dice, do not banish those dice. Maybe I should just fight the Child of Morrigan and use my Renegade troops to not get an extra enemy and then just defeat the Child of Morrigan. You may banish your strongest ready die to avoid activating 1 enemy. Yeah, I kind of think... Because having +1 recovery would be so good right now. Because so many of my dice are exhausted. Let's do this. I'm going to fight the Child of Morrigan. I'm going to use my ability to not trigger a +enemy icon. And I'm going to use my Renegade troops to not banish a dice. So now I just have to fight him. And I think I'm just going to try to hit a crit and a hit on the Child of Morrigan. And even if I don't, I can play a card, I guess. Yeah, let's do that. So first strike phase, I'm just going to draw a card. Draw 3 cards and strike again. Okay, so now let's roll the dice. That's going to be a crit and a hit. Easy. So now I get to go up to 3 recovery. Oh, this should have been at green. These are going to be exhausted. This is going to go to the discard. And now I get 3 recovery. I'm about to go into blue. Let's just turn this to blue, so I guess I might as well recover my blue. And now we figure out who to put in the Menhir stack. Weird Claim Chariot. If I get the Vigilance card. Vigilance, +2 health. Oh my goodness. I kind of want that Vigilance. I kind of want that Vigilance bad. I think I'm going to get rid of this Unchained Warbeast because this has this enemy's health is reduced by 2 for each other enemy in the active area to a minimum of 1. So if I get this with the Foe Dweller, that means this guy will be easier to deal with when he's coming out at the end. I'm at 6 cards under here. Now I need to choose who to fight. You know what I just realized is that this press gang actually has symbols to the right of it. I can actually connect stuff to it. So I think what I actually want to do, because the item effect is draw 1 card and strike again, which is pretty good, I think. I think what I actually want to do is grab this Archdruid and grab the press gang. What's in my... Having no dice... No, okay, my brutal attack is already in my graveyard. Having no dice is brutal. But being able to... No, you know what? Let's just grab the press gang. Let's only grab the press gang and have this around as an item. That seems like a pretty good item to have. Let's grab this. And now we have to defeat it. Okay, so we have grabbed the card. We can strike. For my strike, I am going to... Yeah, let's draw a card. I'm going to draw a card. That card is going to be charged. I can apply any dice committed to this card. It deals damage to the enemy. Draw one card, strike again. Okay. And I guess we'll roll all 3 of these dice. Do I want to roll all 3? I really want to recover some dice because... I don't have many dice to work with. I'm surprised there's no cards that are just like, recover some dice. That would be great as a player card, just recover some dice. If I don't roll all 3, I'm gonna have to roll 2 crits, and I only get 3 rolls. There's only 1 crit each. Let's start by rolling 2 dice. At the bare minimum, I need to get 2 dice. Let's see if any of these are crits. Oh, not a crit, not a crit, not a crit. Guess I will apply one here. For my second one, I'm going to... I guess I will draw another card. I can apply green dice to this enemy, and I guess I'm gonna roll both of these. There's a crit. Okay. So I still need one... I need a success. What are the successes? There are 2 misses on this. Okay. And I don't have a way to just deal damage. I think I want to play it safe, actually. This is already in my thing. I think I want to play it safe. I'm going to play my Inspire. I don't really want to play my Inspire, but I'm going to play my Inspire. This allows me to draw 3 cards, so I know that one of these is going to be the final... What the heck? Oh, I got rid of the final blow! No! No! Okay, well I got rid of the final blow. But this allows me to draw 3 cards and strike again. But this, I do have my Meat Cleaver. So with my strike again, I'm going to use my Meat Cleaver. Crits applied to this enemy deal +1 damage. I already have a crit applied to them. So this deals 3 +1, and that's going to defeat the Press Gang. And this gives me the Press Gang as an item. And... oh man, that used up so much for that. Alright, that gives me that as an item, and I have to discard until I have 3. Let's go. I'm going to keep the Gather Thoughts for sure. It's about to be purple, so let's keep... let's keep the Charge, and let's keep... This is tough. Let's keep the Find Weakness, I guess, and then we'll discard these 3. As for our recovery, I'm going to recover 3 purples, because we're about to be in purple. We move on to purple. How many are in the Menhir stack? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. We're at 6. We're at 6 cards in the Menhir stack. So this is my last enemy I get to fight, and after this we're going to be fighting the boss. Oh, we're going to be fighting the boss with red being the active color. That's rough. That's super rough. What is this? Skip the dice recovery step. Screw that. Place this card to the left side of a non-boss enemy. You cannot apply dice matching the... Wait, you cannot apply dice matching the dial colors to the enemy, but you can apply dice matching the colors to the left and right of that color. Meh. That's fine. Oh, wait, no. I still need to... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So I still need to get rid of a card. Let's get rid of the... this one. And add any card from the combat discard to your hand. That's not that great of an ability. During the suffer damage step, this reduces your recovery instead of your life to a minimum of 1. Ignore this effect in the end game. Ooh. I suppose I could just fight the Selkie and get my recovery lowered down to 1, which won't matter that much. Like, as opposed to recovering 2 dice. I'm losing out on 2 dice. But I basically get a free encounter to sort of build my hand for the boss. And I still get my red back. I think that's the play to go. Okay, yeah, let's do this. I'm going to fight the Selkie as my last encounter. And I'm just going to draw cards, I guess. So, these should have been exhausted. And I'm going to have to shuffle my discard pile. And I'm just not going to draw any cards. Or I'm just not going to play any dice. So, yeah, I'm just not going to play any dice. So let's draw a card for my first one. Draw a card for my second one. draw a card for my third one. And then I'm going to take 3 damage, but that damage is going to reduce my recovery from 3 down to 1 to a minimum of 1 instead. So now I get to recover a single dice. That dice is going to be the red. And now I have to choose which cards I want to keep in my hand. So I know I'm going to be fighting the Foe Dweller for sure. That's going to happen. When I fight the Foe Dweller, this is going to be on red. So I need some way to deal purple damage, so I'm going to have to keep the Vicious Hex. The Foe Dweller is also going to give me an extra enemy. And I don't know what that enemy is going to be. It's going to be coming from the Menhir stack. I guess I want to keep the Brutal Attack. Anything that actually deals damage. I guess Gather Dots is going to be the, yeah, I guess Gather Dots would be the best option after that. So I guess I'm going to discard the Inspire, Find Weakness, and Charge. Now my question is, what am I going to get rid of? I'm going to get rid of the Hostile Agent into the Menhir stack, because its effect is only skip the Recovery Dice step, and there's not going to be a Recovery Dice step. And now there's 8 cards in the Menhir stack, so now we shuffle up the Menhir stack, and we have to deal ourselves extra encounters from this stack. So +1 enemy, and each time I play a non-basic combat card, banish 2 ready dice. Wow. Each time I play a non-basic combat... No, that sucks, actually. Banish 2 ready dice. What is a ready dice? A ready dice is a dice in the dice pool available to be used, whereas a committed dice is a dice in the active area, whether applied or not. So this is the committed area, so if I just choose to use all my dice, then the Foe Dweller basically has no effect. Now, okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to use all of my dice when I fight the Foe Dweller so that they don't banish any of my dice. The dice color is on red, however, so I have to use my Vicious Hex on the Foe Dweller. What I'm trying to decide right now is whether I want to use my ability. When I would trigger a plus enemy icon, I can banish my strongest ready dice to avoid activating one enemy. Can I defeat him if I don't use my red? So this would be... Actually, yes, I can. I could easily defeat him without my red. So yeah, I'm going to use Niamh's ability to banish my red dice, my strongest ready dice. This is now banished. So I don't activate an enemy, actually, from this Menhir stack. And now we just fight the boss. So, fighting the boss, I'm not going to play a card. Actually, I suppose I could play a card. I guess I will play my... Well, I can't actually apply any dice until I use my Vicious Hex. So I guess for my first strike, I am going to draw a card. And then I'm going to roll my dice. Oh, this isn't great, actually. Yeah, I need to roll my dice, like, right now. Yeah. That's going to be 3 hits, but unfortunately I can't play any purples on him. So for my second strike, I'm going to play my Vicious Hex. I can now apply purples to this enemy. And then we're going to... use my Press Gang, draw 1 card, and strike again. Here we go. So I get to draw a card. And I get to strike again. I'm going to strike via Gather Dots, which will allow me to draw 2 cards and strike again. So now this is the rest of my deck. And for this strike, I'm going to do my Meat Cleaver. Yeah, I'm going to do my Meat Cleaver, because this can still chain into my Brutal Attack. Okay, so now I'm going to roll a dice. And that's going to be 2 hits... 2... I don't think I have the damage if I use these 2 hits. If I get a crit... Wait, hold on. If I do a crit, that would deal +1 damage, so that'd be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No. I could do it. I would just need to roll a crit with this 1 dice. If I apply those 2 hits right now, but if I... Oh, man. Or I could fish for like 2 crits, I guess. Oh no, that's my... No, I just realized. I actually just lost. I actually did just lose. Or I will lose. I will lose if I do this. Because even if I do this, my next card played can't be Brutal Attack because it won't deal any of the damage. Actually, I'm not sure about the timing on this. Deal 2 damage to this enemy if it would be defeated by this damage. Is this when I play the card, it deals the 2 damage if it would be defeated? Or if it's just an ongoing effect that says, hey, when this unit would be defeated by this 2 damage, it now deals that 2 damage. I'm not actually too certain, but I think it's the first one. I think I have to play this when it would be defeated by the Brutal Attack. And because of that, my next turn, I strike first, not roll dice first. So even if I play this, that's only going to be 4 damage to the foe dweller, and that won't be enough to defeat it. So I cannot apply these dice, actually. I kind of have to just get 2 crits and a hit. That's my only way to win. So my third strike, I guess, is going to just be draw a card, I guess. Not that it really matters, but yeah, I think I lost. Third card, charge, but I can't play the card because this is my third one. So now it's just the roll. That's all it is. 2 crits and a hit. That's all. It has to be 2 crits and a hit. Yeah. Well, this rolled out of the tray, but I see a miss and only 1 hit. So even if I re-roll this, yeah, unfortunately, I did lose this fight against the foe dweller. That was rough. That was a lot of fun, though. I think I really messed up at the very beginning when I just like used 2/3 of my dice, or 3/4 of my dice, actually. No, I used 3/4 of my dice right away to just be like, I want to upgrade 2 cards. Which, you know, upgrading cards is great, but using up that much of my dice when I only have 2 recovery was brutal. I think maybe next time I should try to get a higher recovery first. So yeah, if we play again, I think that's what I'm going to try. Probably try to go against the foe dweller again, just because I want to actually, you know, win a fight before I try doing the harder stuff. But I'm also realizing that the, ignore pain is actually quite good. I probably should not have gotten rid of the ignore pain, because this allows me to essentially say, oh, I'm going to take a fight and I'm just going to, oh, well, not maybe one of these fights. I'm going to take a fight and I'm just going to not deal with it, right? I'm just going to take this turn to recover dice and draw cards with the ignore pain. Yeah, as long as I'm fighting something with 1 attack. So keeping that in mind as well. I gotta not get rid of my ignore pain. Ignore pain is actually quite good. Also, I might want to try to play somebody with a higher base recovery in general, but I don't know if I saw anyone that had 3 recovery and 3... Wow, 4 recovery and 2 strategy phase. I definitely want a 3 strategy. I don't know which one's more important, strategy or recovery. Oh, this one does have 3 recovery and 3 strategy. Anytime you may banish a ready dice to treat 1 enemy or combat card as if it has 1 note it does not have. Only 1 life. But those are pretty good stats. So yeah, we'll see what happens next time. Or even if I am going to play next time. I don't know. Let me know if you want to see me play this again. I know that I played pretty bad and I might have made some mistakes. But again, it's my first time playing, so forgive me, I guess. Either way, hope I see you next time. Goodbye.